The following program is an FGF production.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills
How you
to
doing,
pay.
subscribers? Little late night storytelling time. This afternoon, I hate to leave off on a note of talking about a particular person that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So what I want to do is it's 10 o'clock at night. I should do that all the time. Little 10 o'clock story time with FGF Productions at 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. You know where your children are at. Remember that? Yeah, I just want to, in episode 2 of my podcast, I like to maybe be considered a podcaster, like Joe Rogan or something, a podcaster, not like a YouTuber. Well, I'm a YouTuber, but yeah, I had mentioned my father and that how I worked so hard for my father, and I had mentioned something something happened to me in the hospital with him, and I want to share that story tonight. First, I'd like to, my sponsor should be Sly Salon Shop. I think I have about, $5,000 worth of stuff from that store. It's a very expensive store, but I got everything, all the outfits, all the shirts, all the figures. Behind me is one of the shirts with the saying, it don't matter how hard you hit, it's how hard you get hit, and keep on fighting. That's how winning is done. That's there. I got that from the shop there. I don't know if you can see it. That's, I got that. I also got a whole bunch of other stuff in my living room. And of course, I got the famous hat. But I was noticing as I looked in the mirror to prepare myself, I'm not trying to be sexy flexiness. I'm being who I really am. But I kind of, with the red shirt, kind of have a little Freddy Krueger look to me. But it's cold out. And this is like my favorite flannel shirt. Like, that shirt, this must be 15 years old, this shirt. It's like a shirt, I don't want to get rid of it. My mom was like, Frankie, how long are you going to have that shirt for? What's wrong with it? It's a nice shirt and everything, Yeah, I got this from the Sly Stallone shop store, SlyStallone.com, my sponsor. Hey, and Sylvester Stallone, if you're watching, subscribe to FGF Productions. Yo, Adrian, it's me, Frankie, FGF Productions. Love Rocky. So this is the hat. It's a replica hat, but even this was like $250, this hat. And of course, I made it, the way Rocky wears it. He showed you like a tutorial how to make it look like that. You got to wear it off to the side and everything. Yeah, it's a cool hat. I love it. You get a lot of compliments wherever I go with it. Big Rocky fan. So, the video I made this afternoon left a bad taste in my mouth. So I want to talk about a real man, my father. And I had said, like I said in episode 2, how I worked hard for him and everything. My dad was a good man. He never yelled at me. He never got mad at me. And back in those days, my dad worked 5-6 days a week at times. So really during the week, I didn't spend much time with him during the week. He'd come home from work. He'd be tired. Say when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, you the way you bonded with your father back then, and I'm sure most people my age back then in the 70s and everything, like my father would, come home, old school Italian. Dinner was, ready on the table. My father didn't lift a finger. My mother had the dinner table set. He'd sit down to eat. You had to sit at the table, and he would, you couldn't eat till he ate or whatever, or there wasn't much talking. He was eating, he was hungry, a little small talk here and there. I do have a funny story, though. I'm going to get to the story about the hospital. This is a very, very, a very, very amazing story what happened to me in the hospital. And, I'm religious, I don't go to church. I believe I went to Catholic school up until 4th grade, and I was always told, and I remember talking about it in Catholic school, that wherever you pray, that's the house of God. So you don't have to really be in church to pray. It's like whenever you decide to pray to God, that becomes the house of God. That's what they taught me in Catholic school, and that's, what I believe in. I don't know if that's, I mean, I'm not. The Catholic religion is very like strict and everything. And I'm sure I've broken many of a sin. Believe me, I did. But I do believe in God and everything. He's been good to me through the years. Of course, he's given me tragedies, but he's also saved my life. Like everything I went through, I don't think I could have got through it, without God. Especially the other night, I almost got into a car accident, got killed. I believe guardian angels and God saved me from dying and my kid having no parents. You know what I'm saying? Can light up a cigarette. So, back to my dad or whatever. So, back then, he'd have his dinner and everything. And then what he would do is, after he ate, he'd go in the bedroom and he watched the ball game. You know what I mean? That was it. As he got home, like, say, 5:36, he had his dinner, the baseball game came on, he laid down and watched the baseball game. So, a lot of times I spent with my mom and stuff, watching the game shows and TV shows. I used to watch Dallas with my mom and all. Like, I got all my love of movies and soap operas and all that stuff from my mom. My love of movies and music and all that from my mom. My dad was the sports guy, so a lot of times, like I kind of like would miss him and everything. So this is how I would become like a Met fan first, I guess, because of baseball. If it was baseball season, like he'd be in his room, and I knock on the door, and he'd be like, "Who is it?" Because my mom would be in the living room watching her shows, he'd be in the bedroom by himself. So I knock on the door, and I'm like, "Daddy, it's Frankie." He's like, "Come on in." So I'd come in, and as soon as you come in, he's like, "Frankie, watch his stance, watch how he's hitting. You watching that?" I'm like, "Yeah, Daddy." You know what I mean? That's a good ball player right there. That's how you got to keep your feet. And that's how maybe a half hour, 40 minutes, I watch the game with him. These kids today, they don't do that no more. Like to get my kid to watch a game with me is like pulling teeth. They do their own thing now. It's a different world. So I watched the game with him and everything, and then he would like say, "You doing good in school?" I said, "Yeah, Daddy, it's hard and everything, the adjustment moving from Brooklyn and stuff. But yeah, I'm doing okay and everything. All right, good. You got to get good grades to get a good job." But then he go, "It don't matter anyway. You're going to be a union electrician and make a lot of money. So don't even worry about it." I'd be 12 years old. He's already telling me my career. Funny. So, whatever, things like that and everything. I remember one time at dinner, like the old school Italian fathers, right? I think I was like 18, 19. I got my ear pierced, and I remember coming home, my mother goes, "Frankie, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but your daddy's gonna fucking rip you a new asshole, right?" So I'm like, maybe he won't notice it or nothing, right? So we're having dinner, right there, and he's eating and everything. He just looks up at me with that fucking face. "What is that in your fucking ear?" What, Dad? Pop? Dad? I like 19, I would call him Pop. What do you got in your fucking ear? Was that an earring? I don't eat with fags. Get the fuck out of it. Take that out off or get out of here. I don't eat with fags. I'm like, that's old school shit. My apologies to anybody. Of me personally, whatever your thing is, love is love. I truly believe in that. I don't discriminate or anything like that. Whatever you are, your sexuality, love is love. More power to you. I mean, if you can find your soulmate, whether you're gay or whatever, God bless you. Enjoy the wonderful life that you have together. So, but back then it was different. So, I kind of got mad, and I did take it out because I'm like, I didn't even know what friggin' year to put it in. I think I had it in the year because what was it? The left ear you were gay, the right ear back then. I don't even fucking know. But I took it out anyway. And it's funny. I didn't get my first tattoo till I was, what year was it? 1994. I got a jet tattoo with a skull. It was a skull with a jet hat on it, not a fucking Hitler tattoo. Like, I don't even want. This is about my father. I don't know to bring up these fucking weirdos. It was a skull with a jet hat, meaning that I'll die a Jet fan. That was my very first tattoo, and I got it in 1994. So how old was I in 1994? Oh boy, here we go with the math. I was 26. I was 26 years old. Well, from a little kid, I always loved tattoos. Always loved tattoos. That was something as I remember, like, my Uncle Philly lived on Staten Island, so my Uncle Philly, hung out with people that were probably part of a certain American Italian subculture, I guess. So my idea with Uncle Phil was like, if you go to the horse track or whatever, you tell your father you went to the zoo, that kind of bullshit. But I remember the big muscular guys that were in the bar hanging out. I'd be like 8, 9, 10 years old. I'd be 8, 9, 10 years old, and I looked up to these guys. They were mammoth, giant arms, all inked up and everything, and I was like, wow, when I grow up, I want to be like that. I want to have muscles and tattoos. So, but my first tattoo wasn't until I was 26 in 1994, and he never really saw it because it was only on my right shoulder. I had one. And then, because I was bodybuilding and you weren't supposed to have tattoos, and I even had to cover up that one when I did it. I only had one. Even my boy Rich Piana, he was a competitive bodybuilder. I love Big Rich. I think he's coming up. I think his anniversary just passed. I should have made a video in tribute to him. I think his anniversary was the 17th of August, so it passed. Yeah, he died in 2017 already. Jesus Christ. Terrible, man. I love Rich. I might even do a video one day, like a training video where he used to do, like you get up, eat your breakfast, talk, get in my car, go to the gym. I'm going to do that for my channel one day. Yeah, like in memory of him, like I'm going to do that. The way he used to have his inspirational shows, I'm going to I could do Rich. I could imitate his faces. I could do the whole thing, like not like being in Rich is the way Rich talked, but I have a little bit of like that about me. I'm like, motivational like that. I might do that. That'd be a cool idea for a show. So, losing my train of thought here. So about my father and everything, So basically, I'm in the hospital with my third neck surgery, and I'm I can't walk and everything. I'm paralyzed. Basically, I couldn't. When they helped me after the surgery, like what happened was on, I believe it was July 10th or 11th. I'm pretty good with the friggin' AC that's kicked on. I believe July 10th or 11th. I actually went to the gym that day. Okay, and I went to the gym, and I remember walking into the gym, and the manager, he knows me for a while. He's like, Frankie, man, you can't even fucking walk, bro. What are you doing, man? You want to become like Ronnie Coleman and shit? Even poor Ronnie Coleman's all fucked up. So I'm like, just leave me alone, man. It's my body and shit, right? So I go to the gym. I can barely walk. I'm losing all feeling in my legs. Like I got pins and needles. I'm losing like balance and everything. I remember like going into 7-Eleven like to get a protein drink before the gym, and the cops are like, bro, you all right or something? You haven't been drinking. I'm like, no, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I already had 2 neck surgeries. I'm afraid this is gonna be something's fucked up. I don't know how much longer I could live like this. It's like, bro, man, you got to get that checked out, the cop, So I actually go to the gym, right? I go to the gym that day, and I'm working out and everything. I'm lifting the best I could, whatever. But when I would do the dumbbells, I had no balance. I was losing, like, forget about doing any curls or standing. I was doing everything sitting down. Me, like an idiot, I had my phone on the floor. And what do? I come down with the weights, and I break my phone. So then my phone's fucking ruined, and I can't get in touch with nobody, whatever, So I got pissed off after that happened. I did a couple more. I'm like, man, something ain't fucking right. Something just ain't right? So I go home, and I come into the living room, and I said, Ma, I just don't feel right. Like, I think I got to go to the hospital, man. She's like, Frankie, I don't know what's going on with you, but this is a nightmare, and everything. All of a sudden, I collapse in the living room. I can't walk. I can't get up. I can't get up. The most horrible feeling known to mankind. I can't get up. I can like try to pick myself up because you think, of course, you could, what the fuck is wrong? My legs died. They were dead. My spinal cord fucking narrowed, and that was it. It's like having a heart attack like having a heart attack, but it's your spinal cord. So now I'm like, fuck, I'm paralyzed. You know what I mean? So I start punching the floor. My mother starts crying. So I'm like, well, call 911. Fucking stop fucking crying. Call 911. So they come and everything. Like, what's going on? I said, I can't feel my legs. I think I'm paralyzed. What? I was like, I can't. So they start, touching your legs and like, do you feel this? Feel like you don't? I didn't feel shit. You could fucking take a lighter and burn my fucking toe. I couldn't feel nothing. I'm like, all right, stop with the fucking feeling and get me to the fucking hospital. This is fucked up. Calm down. Don't curse. And then I'm like, they strap me down like I'm a fucking paraplegic. So, then my neighbors fucking outside. What happened? What happened? I'm like, fucking, I gave him a thumbs up or whatever. So they put me in the fucking. This is probably about, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. So they bring me to the hospital, right? They run all these tests on me and everything. Hook me up to the fucking shit and everything, right? They call my neck surgeon in, and he's like, fucking, we got to go right in, man. Emergency surgery. It's like having a heart attack. If we don't get in there soon, you're fucking paralyzed. My doctor was a straight shooter. He's like, and I started crying. He's like, Frankie, you're a strong fucking guy, man. I got you, bro. It's like, I got a kid, bro. Please, doc, man. I can't be like this, And he's like, you're going to be okay, right? So I'm in surgery for like fucking, I don't know, 5-6 hours of fucking surgery. 5-6 hours of surgery. I remember, anybody's gotten surgery, you're not nervous because I've been through so many fucking ones of them. They knock you the fuck out and you wake up like it never, like it went 2 seconds. But I remember like waking up and they put you in the hall, in the room before they send you to your room and everything. And I remember like the lady's like, the nurse, stop cursing. Stop cursing. I was like, what do you want from fucking, I guess I'm coming off the anesthesia and I was cursing. He's telling me to stop cursing. I mean, I'm fucking paralyzed. You're telling me to stop fucking cursing. That's important? I mean, whatever. Some people are fucking weird. I mean, I love nurses, but she's like, stop cursing, please. Stop cursing. I didn't even know I was cursing. I'm on fucking anesthesia. So they get me to the room and I can't fucking walk. I can't feel my fucking legs or nothing. I'm paralyzed. They got a fucking neck brace on me. I'm fucking in the room. I'll never forget the first night. And I'm, laying there and I'm fucking crying. You know what I mean? I'm bawling my fucking eyes out, man. Like a little baby. I'm like, my life's ruined. I got a young kid. I'm never going to be the same again. I'm going to be in a fucking wheelchair. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? But I remember, that night I'm watching TV and shit. And, this guy came on like in a wheelchair. He was like a football coach and he was paralyzed and he still coached football. I don't even know how like you talk about how like something can like you're a situation like why is that on right now? You know what I mean? So I'm watching the fucking guy and he's like giving this this motivational speech in his wheelchair like to a bunch of people like like in a big concert hall or whatever. And I'm watching the guy and I'm like, man, if I have to live in a wheelchair, I'm gonna fucking be just like that guy. Like he really helped me, you know what I mean? Like if I gotta live like that, then that's what I'll be. I'll still be, and then you got wheelchair bodybuilders. I remember going on YouTube, I had my phone, I'm like, well, I didn't have my phone. I had an iPad, I had my iPad. My mom brought me my iPad. And I'm on the iPad fucking looking up wheelchair bodybuilders and shit, because if I gotta be in a wheelchair, I'll be a wheelchair bodybuilder. Fuck it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to, try to find some kind of hope in this if this happens, you know what I mean? So that first night was real tough. So then the next day they come in, they evaluate you and everything, I'm trying to be positive, I'm getting mad sometimes, but I'm being positive. And then I meet my physical therapist. She was a girl. I don't want to say her name, but she became like, I was with her for 40 days. She became like, my best friend for 40 days. I thought she was an angel. So, you start each day, I couldn't even like, they sit you up, and, I can't feel my feet or nothing. So I can't, I can't walk. My brain is like, I'm fucking getting out of this bed and I'm walking on day one or after this fucking surgery. I'm going to do it. Leave me alone, And she's like, you can't do it. Like, you just calm down. I'm like, fucking, I think I fell and shit. So, they get me up or whatever, and they put me in a wheelchair and they bring me over and I start my physical therapy, just like baby steps, just like trying to move your toes, like, it's a nightmare. It's like you can't, you take walking for granted. Like, why can't my legs fucking work, So I really don't want to turn this into the whole, I want to talk about my father's story or whatever. So after like the third day, third or fourth day, I'll never forget it, right? They call it, you know, well, let me just go back. Like, the priest would come in every morning, too, and I kind of was mean to him. Like, the priest would come in, do you want to, do mass or whatever? So I remember the first couple of days, I wasn't like mean to him. Just like, I'm like, Father, you know, what does God do fucked up shit? He's like, God, just, God does different things for reasons or whatever the fuck he was saying. So I kind of was like a little annoyed, like, I'm not in the mood today, Father. I'm sorry. He's like, okay, maybe tomorrow, don't worry about it, but just stay positive, and the Lord's got you and everything, and don't give up hope. I mean, thank you, Father, but then I'm rolling my eyes like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. But, the second day comes in, I'm still not in a bad mood or something. Like the third or fourth day, right? Now, here's the story, right? I don't know what this was, if anybody's ever experienced this before. They call it like a visitation dream, right? It was the most eeriest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I can't even explain it, right? In the middle of the night, I'm fully awake, okay? Now, mind you, yes, they're shooting me up with, painkillers or whatever the fuck they were doing. I think the Lord or whatever. So yeah, they're shooting me up with the painkillers. So you're gonna say it's that or whatever, or the medication or whatever. There's a million fucking things going through my body, antibiotics, all this fucking shit. But me personally, in the middle of the night, I'm fully awake, and there is my Father. He is right in front of me. And I'm like, so I'm fully awake, and my Father is right in front of me. And it's like, you see a ghost, you see a physical person, and I'm scared. So I'm scared. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, calm down. Don't be afraid. He tells me, he's like, don't be afraid. He's like, listen to me, okay? And I'm like, I swear to God, subscribers, on my son's life, I'm touching his face. And he looks exactly like he looked if he was alive, the way he looked. I'm touching his face, and I'm in complete fucking shock, right? So he tells me this. This is the God's honest truth, and I remember it high, whatever the fuck you want to say. He tells me, he goes, listen, calm down, it's me. Listen, I'm only allowed certain times to calm down. And please do not tell your mother or your sister or my grandson. Okay? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm saying to myself. He's like, I only get so many chances to do this. I came here, Frankie, listen to me. Enough is enough. I'm getting chills right now. Enough is enough. That's it. You are not to work any longer. You have nothing else to prove. You have nothing else to do anything. Stop. You're going to kill yourself. I'm telling you right now, enough is enough. And I'm like, okay, Pop, okay. And he's like, listen to me. I'm worried about you, but you're going to be okay. You got to fight. You got a long battle. But I got your back, and you got to fight hard. It's not going to be easy. I can't really help you and everything, but you're going to do it on your own, and you're going to make it, okay? But enough is enough. You have nothing else to prove, okay? And please, do not tell your mother and your sister and my grandson that I came here. I swear to God on my son's life. Okay? All of a sudden, they come in like to, the fucking every 3 hours to give blood and to fucking check your blood pressure and all that bullshit. I'm saying, okay, Pop. Okay, right? And the lady tells me, the nurse, who are you talking to? I said, you're not going to believe this. My father was just here, and he spoke to me, and I have closure. It was the greatest thing. I have closure. I can actually now not feel guilty that I got hurt, that I can't work anymore, and prove to my father that I was a good worker. He told me to stop. Now the nurse thinks I'm a fucking cuckoo bird. She's like, oh, that's nice. It's probably, you're on a lot of drugs and you're probably, it's a good dream and everything. I said, it wasn't a fucking dream. The guy was fucking here. My father was fucking here. I touched his face. Oh, that's nice and everything. I think they call them visitation dreams. I'm not sure. Maybe you talk to the priest tomorrow morning. Oh, all of a sudden the priest that I was shooing off, we're going to have a very, very deep conversation, Father. I couldn't wait till that guy came in. It was like fucking Santa Claus coming into the room. I couldn't fucking wait to talk to this fucking guy. So, the priest, I didn't even sleep. I was so excited. It actually gave me, like, that there is a heaven, or wherever he was, that it made me feel like that there is something out there, because the man physically was in the room with me. I swear on my son's life, I am not making up a bullshit story. It was fucking, I touched his face and felt his face. I get fucking chills fucking to this day. It's the most, I never seen anything about it. I never told my mother about it. I told my friends and shit like that. They thought I was fucking high and shit on fucking painkillers or whatever the fuck. People, you know what I mean? You can Google it. It's called a visitation dream. Well, that's one. Now the priest comes in the next day and I'm like, Father, I love you, Father. He's like, oh, all of a sudden now we're in a good mood today, huh? I said, Father, I got to tell you something. I said, last night, Father, my father was in this room talking to me, telling me that they only get so many opportunities to come down to talk to somebody. And he chose this opportunity to give me closure about not working anymore, and that I'm going to be okay and everything. What was that, Father? Was that a dream? Was that real? He's like, it's possibly there are visitation dreams. I've heard people talk about this to me. I don't have an explanation for it. I would believe that it was real. You know what I'm saying? I really truly believe that there is God. I'm a priest and everything, and I really truly believe that happened. And isn't that wonderful that it happened? Now, how do you feel about that? I said, I feel so relieved and so happy right now. I was like on a high. It was like the highest high I ever felt, like cloud 9 and everything. That my father's okay, comes down, visits me, gives me closure. I'm telling the priest this, and he's like, it's a wonderful thing, So you want to do, you want to pray now and everything. I was like, let's fucking do it, Father. Fucking, and then every day after that, I would take communion, I'd pray, we talk. He became my best friend for 40 days. You want to go have a beer one day after I get out of here? The guy was, it was an amazing story, man. It's the God's honest truth. If anybody can comment that's ever happened to them or anything, I really would like to know if anybody's ever experienced anything like that. Like they say, they call visitation dreams, and I never had a dream that was so realistic. Now, I say to myself, for people watching this or anything, that couldn't have happened, right? That was just a dream, right? Was it just a dream? I will never know, but I know personally that I felt the guy's face, and he spoke to me, and he looked the same way. He actually looked pretty good. He looked like he was healthy and everything. Exactly the way he looked, before he died. Same way and everything. They say when you go to heaven, you become young again or whatever. He was the same age, 81, the time when he died. And he was wearing a blue t-shirt, his favorite blue t-shirt. He had jeans on and his sneakers. If he would have had a jet hat on, I would have said, this is fucking really crazy now. He didn't have a hat on. Blue shirt, jeans, sneakers. God's eye. I remember the clothes he was wearing. It was absolutely, I'll never forget when I saw him there. I fucking almost, I couldn't breathe. Like I was actually like, I was scared, but at the same time, like I couldn't like, I'm like trying to catch my breath. Like what the? I was more scared than anything. I was scared. It's like seeing a ghost. You're fucking scared, but it's your father, you know. And he's like, you know, I remember him kind of like, it's okay, you're safe. I'm not gonna hurt you and stuff, you know. And I'm like, Pop, is that Pop? That's you? Yeah, it's me. It's me. No way, Pop. And I just taking my hand and putting it on his nose and his face and everything. I couldn't hug him because I couldn't move my legs, like, and he was like close to me, like right by the bar of the hospital bed where they got the bars on it, and he's right there, and I felt his face, man. I was like, holy shit. If anybody can comment about that's ever experienced that, I would really like to know. I really would like to friggin' know. That was an amazing, I'll never forget it, you know. I'll never forget that as long as I live, man. Half hour in, late now. I just hope everybody liked that story. I loved my father, man. I miss him a lot. Like that's the first love. Like I lost my grandfather, you know, both my grandmothers, my aunt, my godmother, who was like really a second mother. You know, that hurt. That was heartbreaking. But my father dying, you know, your father, you know, a parent, that was tough, you know. And I do want to tell a story that I live with guilt about this today. I mean, he did come to visit me and everything and stuff, so, you know, it took a little bit off of it. You know, the closure was what I really wanted to hear from him, that I got closure with my career and everything. But I remember, like, you know, in my heights of my alcoholism, I got drunk one night. He was at my house, you know, everything, and I was drunk, and I just started, like, really being mean to him. I don't even want to get into it. I just started yelling at him about stupid shit when I was younger and stuff, and I should fucking go to hell for that, you know what I mean? And he just sat there, he looked at me, and he's like, you done saying what you got to say? And I kind of like, you know, started feeling guilty, you know, after. It was about a 15-minute rant to him drunk. And he got up and he's like, you have a good night. And he left. And I remember saying to myself, man, fucking drunken fucking asshole, man. I'm a drunken fucking asshole. That's why I don't miss that shit for nothing, man. And you know something? My dad, the next day, I went over there to see if he'd be mad at me or anything. You know, I went over there and there he was on the couch reading the paper, watching the highlights on ESPN. Hey, Frankie, I got bagels in the kitchen. They got you an egg bagel. Never said a word about it. That was my father. But what I said to him was just not right. But that's what alcohol fucking does. You say stupid shit. He ain't the only one I did that to, you know. But, well, anyway, I just wanted to share that, a visitation story about my father. Everybody have a good night. And I wish everybody the best. God bless. I am FGF Productions. But please, in the comments, if anybody's ever experienced anything like that, let me know. I would like to know, you know, if anybody's ever experienced that. All right. Good night, everybody. God bless. FGF Productions.
My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad. Come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.